tell publicly?
Yes.
Well, I always enjoy the crazy stuff that people do. I mean, both good and bad. Like, the good side, we had people that came out as Ghostbusters with disco music in the back, and they had a little impromptu party. It freaked out some of the staff, but I find it hilarious. And I love when fans do things like that. Alternatively, every year at our venue, people like trying to jump on top of the roof and then dangling off of the roof. So, you know, people do stupid things, you know, both good and bad.
Hey, Lucas?
Let me tell you about Puddles, Nibbles, and Cuddles. Because we like to laugh. We nickname people that do stupid things in the middle of the night. There's a certain amount of human nature, I think, that's probably affected negatively by being convinced by the local media that you're going to die in the flood in Nashville, despite being hundreds of feet above the flood line in a self-sustaining 400-bedroom, large kitchen-bearing building. But if your teen parent or parent of teenager worry-wart soccer mom calls you enough times, you will probably start to think you're going to die. So instead of being in one of the safest buildings in the world, they think they're in a disaster area and they start getting crazy overnight. So Puddles is the guy that unfortunately was a volunteer on our tech staff who had some substance he wasn't sure how it got into his system.
Volunteer number 23.
Thank you, volunteer number 23, who stumbled out of the tech office and somehow thought he had reached the bathroom and went ahead and whipped it out in the hallway. And our vice president had to put his arm up on his shoulder and be like, sir? Then Nibbles comes walking down the hall, bearing 4 or 5 really large, deep, purple bite hickeys, trying to convince me that the girl forced him into this, and she just attacked him, and she must be on something, and we should kick her out. And I looked at him and said, you're a pretty big guy. This must be one hell of a girl. Or either that or you didn't decide you didn't like it until bite number 5. But we'll be happy to get you the first aid. And then there is Cuddles, which is really 2 people.
2 people.
I passed them in the rave a few hours before this. They were just making out in the middle of the ballroom. Evidently they were caught later getting it on in the middle of the ballroom.
Not over in like a dark corner, but
No, not even the decency of the stairway or the closet or the banquet hall area.
where the rest of us go.
On the floor.
On the floor. In the middle of the rave. So that's our most recent, and we have, of course, a decade of these stories, but those are our good ones from last time. But the funniest joke about our convention in April was the flood. So, and that's really an impact. I mean, it cost $12,000 to $40,000 in revenue because 300 to 1,000 walk-in people didn't show up. So
Because it was Saturday at like noon. We get a lot of walk-ins.
Yep, nosedive,
And
nobody in line.
Nobody.
And of course, I have 3 channels with 3 letters to each of their names that I can thank for most of that. But yeah, the media don't underestimate what they can tell people, especially in the South. Oh my God, y'all, we gotta stay home.
It's a question.
Since you mentioned hotel